Morning, Lynn. Morning, everyone. Lovely to see you. Very nice. It seems like forever since we've done this together. Morning, Heather. Very nice to see you. I'm very well, thank you, Lynn. How are you? Are you all right? How is everyone? How are you, Heather? Oh, I missed someone there. Let's see. Yeah, I'm really well, thank you. I'm doing well. I have missed doing these. It seems like absolutely forever. Morning, Vicky. Nice to see you. Oh, morning, Nikki as well. God, let me put my glasses on and I'll see if I can. Oh, this happens every time. Every time I try and sort of enlarge the writing, because I can't see without my glasses. And then every time I try and move, oh, hang on, bear with me. I will get this. There we go. Because I just drag it across, and then the writing's enlarged from my poor old eyes. So anyway, let me say hello to some people. So morning, Nikki. Morning, Vicky. Thank you for being here. Morning, Amira. Nice to see you. Oh, Heather, you're not so good, but hopefully you're getting there. I missed you too. It's just been, it's got to have been a month, hasn't it? More than a month since I've done a live. Good morning, San. It's lovely to see you. Oh, this is so nice. Gosh. Oh, let's see. Oh, bless you, Nikki Ann. That's really nice of you. And I see here, so there's a message. I can't see your name, but there's like a little blue thing and a white heart. Can you say something to encourage me to have a good day, please? Yes, I can. I hope you have the best day that you can manage. I always remember someone saying that to me, saying, I hope you have the best day that you can manage. And it took all the pressure off me. So I hope that you can have the best day that you can manage. It doesn't have to be perfect, and there'll be good bits and there'll be difficult bits, but it'll be a flow of getting through the day. So hopefully you have a good day. Have I had my teeth straightened? No, I haven't. These are all my own gnashers. Oh, Athena, your lives always pop up when I need them the most. You have the sweetest energy. Oh, that's so lovely of you, Athena. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Oh, gosh. So I'm so lucky today because I've got my lovely moderators with me. So I've got Lynn 250 is with me, and Lynn's going to meet a friend for a coffee. So I always say to my moderators. So I have Lynn, and I have Vicky Hodgson, and I have Jasmine, and today. Jasmine's working, so she couldn't be with us, and Lynn's going for coffee, so Lynn's here for the first half hour or so. And I always say that they were so apologetic, so I'm so sorry. And I always say, I'm so grateful that you come and do this at all, chaps, because you give up your own time. I randomly, a couple of days beforehand, go, oh yes, I'm going to do a live. And you always turn up, you always do your best for me, and I'm so grateful. So thank you for any time that you can give to me. It's amazing, and it's a lovely way that we can keep this a nice, safe space. So please don't worry. I'm really happy that you're going to meet your friends for coffee, and that Jasmine's earning a bit of money. That's good. And Vicky, you're here with me all morning, so thank you so much. I mean, I say all morning, it's an hour. So don't panic and think, oh my God, she's going to be here till 1 o'clock, because I'm not, just an hour. So let's have a look. So Welsh boy, good morning to you, Welsh boy. I hope you don't mind me saying you have such a friendly face. Have a great day. I don't mind that at all. That's very nice of you. Thank you. I do try. Oh, Lynn, and don't feel bad about leaving halfway through. Don't feel bad. You are so amazing. You come every week. You come and spend an hour of your time and more with me. I'm just very grateful. Let's have a look. Marina, hi. I hope you don't mind me joining. Why would I mind you joining? I love that you're here. Welcome. Everyone is welcome here, as long as you are, which most of us are, nice and kind and helpful to one another. One of the reasons that I have moderators here. Because the odd time, very rarely, I have to say, very rarely, there might be someone who comes on who's just a bit silly, maybe not as kind as they could be, and the reason that we have moderators is that I can't always see that. Quite often the comments fly by really quickly, and so there's no tolerance really. It's a case of, if you're being rude or being horrible, then you'll be muted, and then if you carry on, then you just be blocked. So but everyone else, I love it. I love the fact that we have a community here and that people come week after week, hopefully, and connect with one another, not just with me. So I don't know your name, the person with the white star, the white heart. You look so kind and warm. Thank you, that's very nice. And you woke up feeling very anxious, so you love the vibes here. Oh, Dominic Lawrence. Oh no, that's a different one. Oh, Dominic. So anyway, Dominic is saying, I love the vibes here. Woke up feeling so anxious. Oh, bless you. It's horrible, isn't it? Quite often when we, in the morning, we have a heightened level of cortisol, so that can make us feel really anxious. And hopefully over the day, it will subside. But you're very welcome. Hopefully you can have an hour of just feeling a bit more chilled with all of us. So... Oh, Julie Reese Diva. Hello from California, Sarah. You are very welcome here, Julie. Oh my God, this is terrible. I haven't got indigestion. What am I doing? Now I'm mumbling. Oh gosh. Oh, thank you, Heather. So Heather shared the live. Now I said this last time. It's really helpful if you share the live by pressing the little arrow. You don't actually have to send it to anyone, but if you share it or you bookmark it or you save it, or you can send it to people who you think might find it useful. But the algorithm sees all of the shares, and also it sees all of the tap. So if you just tap on the screen and that sends likes, and then the algorithm thinks, oh, this must be something that people are enjoying and is going to be of use and of value to other people. And so it shares it more with more people. So it's not like I don't get anything for that. It's just, so the more activity there is, I think the more the algorithm likes it. So I always think that the stuff that I do on here is supposed to be helpful to people, and so the more people can see it, the better. So if you feel like doing any sharing or liking or following, then feel free. That's really lovely and very helpful. Don't feel that you have to, please do not subscribe. Do not, don't have to send me any gift, anything like this. Everything on here is free. And that also includes all of the resources that you can see through my profile page. So anyway, let me say hello to a few more people. Let's have a look. Lloyd Gray, thanks for your kindness. That's my pleasure. Hello, Holly. Holly's Rainbow. It has been a while. It has been over a month because I went on holiday. So we've got friends who live in Singapore and Brunei, and they've been inviting us for a really long time to go out and visit them. And so we took the plunge. Oh, thank you. That's a very lovely thing. We took the plunge and we went out on holiday. We went to Singapore and then we went to Brunei and then we came back to Singapore. So it was like a trip of a lifetime. It was absolutely amazing. And so that's where I've been. We were away for 2 weeks-ish, and then I was tired, and then I had like a full-on week, and then I had last Friday I did a whole webinar, a day's sort of conference where I was talking about anxiety. So that's where I've been, but I'm back now, and hopefully I'll get back into the rhythm of doing weekly lives. So, oh, Miss Yo-Yo, we've missed you. Thank you. It's really, really nice. Oh, and you're Abby. So. Miss Yo-Yo, thank you, and the person with the blue and the white heart, you're telling me that you're Abby, so I'll remember that. Very nice to have you here, Abby. Thank you, San, for that offer. Thank you very much. Yes, I really appreciate that. I might be in touch with you, but we'll see. DJ Funk, hello DJ Funk, I love your name. Says, hello, what is QCH, if you don't mind, please? I don't mind at all. It's something that hardly anyone has heard of. We are very small but perfectly formed. So QCH stands for Quest Cognitive Hypnotherapy. And it's a modality of therapy that was started about 23 years ago by someone called Trevor Sylvester. And he's an amazing person. He has been a therapist for a long time now, probably 30 years, I don't know. And he started the Quest Institute with his wife Bex, and they've been training new therapists for over 23 years now. And I'm fortunate enough, they asked me a couple of years ago to be the training manager there. So I now co-teach with Trevor, and I run the team of assistants who are amazing. They're all qualified, experienced therapists. So and we train, we run one course a year, which is about an 11 month course, which trains new people to be QCH therapists. And it's a talking therapy. It's kind of a framework, really. It's not hypnotherapy in the traditional sense of it, because it's very conversational. I never ever have got my pocket watch out and gone, you look into my eyes, none of that kind of stuff. It's very client focused, so it's about you, it's about working at your pace, it's looking at what you want to achieve, it's very practical. So you don't just sit there for weeks and months and years on end talking about how miserable it is and finding out why you feel this way. We do look at why you feel this way eventually, but it's much more about resourcing. It's about giving you tools to help you to live your life in the way that you want to live it. And it involves stuff like NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. It involves positive psychology. We use techniques like, this might not mean anything to you, but for those of you that do know about these things, we use techniques like timeline and rewind, Gestalt chair, meta mirror, all these things, but they're all tailored to the individual. So we've actually got a research study that's been ongoing. It was published in 2016 and it's ongoing. We're looking for someone who wants to do their PhD on it. And the results of that pilot study showed that when people came along and had QCH therapy for anxiety or depression, 71% of the people that came for 6 sessions said that they felt absolutely fine by the end of those 6 sessions, as compared to 42% of people that have CBT. So it's a really powerful therapy. So that's a little bit. I could waffle on about QCH for a long time because I absolutely love it. I live my life by it, and it has changed my life, and it's changed the life of a lot of people. So that's what QCH is. So thank you for asking. Hopefully your question and the answer have helped other people, because I'm sure it is a small thing, a small number of us, but we're across the country, across the UK, and also across the world. So we train people from all over the world. Right, let me have a look. Just looking for the comments come through so quickly. Oh, that nearly fell off. And sometimes they go boom and they fly through, and then I miss ones. Oh look, there's one here. I don't think Sarah saw it. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. So morning, I've been off work recently due to illness and now I'm too anxious to return. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer some questions and some points. And so what I'll do is I'll make a note of 3 at a time, and then I can just buzz through them and answer your questions. So that is from user 710, and so user 710, and too anxious to return to work. Okay, so I'll come back to you in just a moment. Katie, any tips on appointment anxiety? Okay, I shall come back to you. Oh, thank you for following me, user 710. I can't say the whole great long number. See, look, I can see Lynn and Vicky are telling DJ Funk what QCH is, so I really appreciate that, because sometimes I don't see all of the comments, and then my moderators nip in and answer your questions. My moderators are not therapists themselves. They are people who are very, very kind, and they came to like the first couple of my lives that I did and offered to help. And so they've been with me ever since, which is over a year now. So, and I'm so grateful to all of you. So, okay, and then Savannah Louise Fox. I'm in the depths of my depression and I don't know what to do. Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Excuse me. Okay, I'm sorry. Right, let me deal with all of those questions. And as Lynn says, so Lynn is, Lynn, you're so kind. I love the way that you help people. I'm waffling on here, and Lynn and Vicky are doing the work of actually picking up all the comments and answering and being kind. And that's what we want here. It's a community. So it's so nice that people connect and are helpful to one another. And, Lynn says, stay here with us for the hour and hopefully you'll feel a little better. So, it's so nice. It's very true. Oh, Jasmine, you're here. Everyone's abandoned me at work, so just popping on to say hello. Hello, Jasmine. Oh, I love that. I love a little sneaky work visit to TikTok. That's so nice to see you. I understand if people come back in the office, you'll have to shoot off, but thank you for popping in. It's lovely to see you. Right. Okie dokie. So the first one here was from user 710 and then a long number. So they've been ill and then now you're too anxious to return to work. So I'm sorry to hear that. It's really horrible, isn't it? A, that you've been ill, and I think, but B, that feeling of, oh God, if I go back to work, am I going to be able to cope? What are people going to say? What are they going to ask me? All of that kind of stuff, and maybe lots of other things that you've got going around in your head. So I would say that it's completely normal when we've been ill for a while. It's quite often our world gets smaller and smaller. We're at home, we're stuck at home, we don't feel very well. Our nervous system is aware that things are not right, and it's not a nice thing to deal with in the first place. And then you have that thought of, okay, I've got to go back to work. And our brain goes into the future. So your brain is probably thinking, oh, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And, oh, what are they going to say? What are they going to do? How am I going to feel? Will things have changed? Will I be any good at my job anymore? You might have all sorts of things going around in your head. And that what-ifness, our brain doesn't know the difference between that imagined future that hasn't happened yet and the present moment here and now, which is happening. And so what it does is it triggers the fight or flight response. It sends us into anxiety, even though those things haven't happened yet and might never happen. But it feels really real because you're getting all the physical symptoms, whether that's the overthinking, the beating heart, the breath changes, all of those physiological changes that you begin to notice. So one of the things that we need to do is that there's practical stuff and there's physical stuff. So the practical stuff is perhaps to arrange a phased return to work. So to excuse me, to perhaps get hold of your HR department or your boss or a colleague and say to them, listen, I really want to come back to work, but I feel really anxious about it. Because, and you don't have to be specific, you can go into sort of vague detail, but they have a duty of care to you to help you to get back to work. And I'm sure that they'll all be looking forward to you coming back to work. They're probably all wondering how you are. So that's the practical side of things, is to contact your work and ask for a phased return, or perhaps have a work buddy to help you if there's anything new has happened, because that can be really reassuring. And amazingly, it's usually the anticipation of going back is far worse than the actual going back. You know, I mean, you can, you know, if you're dreading people saying, oh, what happened? How are you? How are you now? All of that. If you're dreading that kind of thing, you can always, your HR can have a word with your colleagues and say that, you know, you're feeling a little bit fragile still, but you're really looking forward to coming to work. But please, could they, you know, give you space and time? So if you're ready to talk about stuff, then you will to the people you choose, but that you don't want to be bombarded. So that can be really helpful. So the physical side, and this is something that I share a lot on my page, on my main grid on TikTok, and also at the bottom there are categories around all sorts of different anxieties and information on anxiety and physical techniques. So we can't think our way out of anxiety, because anxiety is a physical state. It's a reaction, a protective response, and so what we need to do is we need to send our nervous system messages in reply to the messages that it's sending us, to show it that we're safe. And by that, what I mean is stuff like breath work, being in the moment. If you have a look at some of my pinned posts, there's this one in particular. There's 3 pinned posts, and this one is a really, really useful one to bring you to the moment, to calm you down. If you have a look at the breath techniques as well, there's some really good breath techniques that can slow your heart, and hopefully that will be really helpful to you too. But I think sometimes you have to push into that discomfort zone and go, okay, I'm going to manage everything as best I possibly can by communicating with my work and also communicating with my nervous system, and then hopefully that will make a big difference. And once you're back in work, then hopefully everything will be much better than you imagine it might be. So I hope that that's helpful for you. Oh, excuse me, coughing. But thank you for following me, user 710. That's really good of you. Right, hang on 2 ticks, because I just need to go and get a glass of water. So I will be back. I need to fill up my water. Here I come. There you go. Since I came back from holiday, I had such a cold. And talking for an hour makes my throat dry. So excuse my coughing. Hopefully that'll be a bit better. So I was little thing. So hopefully user 710, that is helpful for you, and I really hope that you'll be able to go back into work and all will be well. So do come back and tell us. It's what we as a community really love. We love it when people have asked a question and they come back and say, oh, it worked, and actually it was much better than I thought it would be, and all of that kind of stuff. Because you coming back and feeding back to people, it helps other people to know that, you know, these things do make a difference, that we can make a difference to ourselves. So I hope that is helpful to you. So I'm seeing here, so DJ Funk says, thanks, because I explained what QCH was. Interesting. So hypnosis to control thinking, not kinetic actions. So it's not hypnosis to control anything. That's what I would say. It's more about giving clients life skills. This is what QCH is. It's about giving clients life skills to be able to be in control of their own lives. It's very non-authoritarian. So with a lot of traditional hypnotherapy, you'll go along and the hypnotherapist will read from a pre-prepared script and will say things like, you will be more confident, you will walk into a room and notice everyone looking at you with love in their eyes, or something like that. With this, we don't do that. It's just 2 normal people having a chat with one another. But the therapist might, during the conversation, will say things, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. But, you know, you may well be surprised at how much more confident you begin to feel over time by using the techniques that I show you, by just beginning to learn a little bit more about yourself. And how wonderful would that be? So it's very gentle, and it's all based on what the client wants, and that's what we do in the first session. So I hope that explains a little bit more, DJ Funk. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being on my live. It's the first one I've done in over a month, I think. So I'm so glad that you haven't all just forgotten about me. I could have just turned up today with no one here. So it's really lovely that I can see so many friendly faces. Thank you all so much. As I was saying, my name's Sarah. I'm a QCH therapist. That's Quest Cognitive Hypnotherapy. For more information on that, just go through my profile. There's a link to all sorts of free resources and free information. I have my lovely moderators with me, Lynn250, Vicky Hodgson and Jasmine. Lynn and Jasmine dipping in and out. Lynn's off for coffee in a minute. I hope you have a lovely time, Lynn. And Jasmine is at work, so should really be working, but is having the odd moment saying hello to us. But thank you all. And I'm answering questions as we go. So my speciality is working with people who are going through anxiety, and I absolutely love helping people with that. And so Had says, what's my opinion on EMDR for complex trauma? I think it's brilliant. That's my opinion. Okay, let me come to Katie. So Katie said, do I have any tips on appointment anxiety? So I'm assuming that you're probably thinking about going to maybe a doctor's appointment, an appointment anywhere, meeting strangers possibly, trying to get there on time, that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just going to guess. I think it's the same. And any anxiety. So we health professionals really like to label anxiety. We like to say, oh, you've got social anxiety, you've got health anxiety, you've got appointment anxiety, you've got generalized anxiety disorder. We like to put you in boxes and say that you're broken, there's something wrong with you, and this is what it is. And actually, as a QCH therapist, we tend not to do that. Obviously, it can be helpful to know the stuff that is important to you and to know, okay, it's your health or it's meeting new people that's difficult for you. But at the end of the day, anxiety is anxiety. It's just perhaps triggered by different things. And so appointment anxiety will have the way to help yourself with it will be the same sort of stuff that I would say to anyone who is feeling anxious. And first of all, it's about creating an environment of safety. So at the moment, probably over time, because of something that will have happened in your past that's been a little bit traumatic or a big bit traumatic, I don't know, so what happens is something happens in your life that's difficult to deal with, and your nervous system, your amygdala goes, oh, this is terrible, we're in danger, and so it triggers the fight or flight response. You get flooded with adrenaline and cortisol, and that in turn triggers your heart to beat more quickly, your breathing changes, and then all of your physiology changes to help you survive that situation. And of course, generally, we do survive that situation. You've survived all of the stuff that you've been through in your life, and your brain goes, well, I did absolutely brilliantly there. I'm going to put a red flag next to that moment, and I'm going to remember everything about that situation. So this is not consciously, it's unconsciously. This is all filed away in your brain. So as you carry on with your life, your brain, your nervous system is scanning your environment, both externally, but also internally, looking for anything that matches with that situation, and maybe new stuff as well. And if it does find a match, it triggers you into fight or flight again. So you get into that closed loop of, when this thing happens, it's dangerous, therefore I need to be anxious. And you get that release and release and release and release and release of adrenaline and cortisol. So if you imagine your body like a bathtub, eventually you get to the stage where you're up to here with stress hormones, and it's like you've got a buzz going on. So all you need is someone to say, oh yeah, I need you to make an appointment for this. And that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. And you get that of adrenaline and cortisol. Oh, cheerio, Lynn. Take care. I hope you have a lovely cup of coffee. Enjoy, and I will see you soon. So you get that. So and that can manifest in a panic attack. It can just feel that even more heightened level of anxiety. But also, what we need to do is we need to lower those levels of adrenaline and cortisol. And we do that by creating an environment of safety, doing the things that we love, because if you do the things that you love, then you get the release of the hormones that tell your nervous system you're safe. So if you think of stuff that you love, so it might well be sitting at home, reading a book, having a cup of tea with your cat on your lap, and you think of that and you'll feel, I feel all warm inside, and that's the release of the hormones that you need. So we're looking for that feeling. So it's doing more of that, making sure you do more of that each day. And gradually over time, what happens is that your stress hormones go down and down and down. The hormones that tell you you're safe go up and up and up. You feel calmer. And so that's the sort of the thing that you need to be doing as a lifestyle change. But then if you've got an appointment and you're thinking, well, that's all very well, Sarah, but I've got an appointment tomorrow afternoon, I haven't got time to suddenly create a lifestyle change, then I totally understand that, because it does take time. So there are physical things that you can do. So breath techniques, visualizations, physical techniques like this. They're all on my page. So if you go and have a little browse, maybe, to make it easier, I've made categories along the bottom so you can scroll through categories, which hopefully will be really helpful for you. So good luck, Katie. I hope it all goes well for you if you do have an appointment, and I hope that answers your question a little bit. But take care. Thank you all so much for being here. It's so lovely to see you. I've been away for a month and haven't done any lives, and here you all are. So it's really nice to see you. I'm trying to work my way through some questions. I've got Savannah's questions coming up next, and then Had's asked about EMDR, so I'm going to answer that question too. Thank you so much for any likes, any follows, any shares, because what that does, if you like just by tapping the screen, you might end up with a sore finger, but if you tap and likes come, what happens is the algorithm shares this live with more people, and if more people see the live, then hopefully more people will be helped with anxiety. If you share the live, or if you're able to, if you think to yourself, oh, I know someone who really feels anxious and they might be helped by this, then, do share it to them, because then the more people, there are so many people that have anxiety, and the more people that can be helped just to begin to live a normal life and to begin to feel a little bit calmer and safer in their lives, then, that's what I'm hoping to do by creating this community. So let's have a little look. So Abby, no, I don't hypnotise people. I don't consider myself like a hypnotist, like a stage hypnotist at all. I'm a therapist, a talking therapist, and I work particularly with anxiety, with depression, with people who have fears, people who feel stuck in their lives. But I have colleagues who work with everything from addiction to eating disorders. I have colleagues who've created apps to help with mental health. I have a colleague, Hazel Gale, that I'm going to be hopefully talking with, doing a live and doing sort of an interview. She's created, she's connected to the Clementine app. She's part of that team that created Clementine, and also she's co-created Betwixt A Story of You, which is another amazing app. So hopefully we can have a chat with her. But so there's lots of things that QCH can help with. So I'm biased, but I just think it's a brilliant therapy. Of course, it can't help everyone. We know our limits. We're not psychologists. We're not psychotherapists. We're not psychiatrists or anything like that. We don't deal with psychosis. We don't deal with personality disorders or narcolepsy, that kind of thing. But we feel that if we can help the people we can help, then we're making a little bit of a difference to the world. So Marina, yes, I do offer private therapy. That's my main thing. So Lotta, that's a good question. So I'm going to come to you, Savannah. Qualifications to be a therapist. Okay, so I will be with you in a minute, Lotta. Let me answer Savannah. So Savannah, it's so lovely to have you here. You're so lovely that you come to these lives so regularly, and it's really lovely to see you. But I'm really sad that you're feeling really depressed at the moment and life is a struggle. I would say the first thing I would say is, if there's anyone that you can reach out to, if you have friends or family, or maybe you have a therapist that you could reach out to, please reach out to them, because it really makes a difference. At the moment, probably, I imagine your nervous system is scanning your environment, and it's very, very difficult. And just by connecting with another nervous system, with someone that you can trust, not necessarily to talk about how you're feeling unless you feel that that's appropriate, but just being with someone else, just quietly maybe, that can begin to make a difference. I think that when you're feeling depressed, whoever you are, it is really important to ask for help, because with depression, it's that thing that you sort of sink lower and lower, and it's very difficult to have the energy to do the things that are needed to be done to bring you out of that, and we need help to do that. So I would say definitely reach out, and I would say also to be aware that this will pass, that this is now often when I say this is a temporary state, people say to me, oh well, I've felt like this for years, and what I mean by a temporary state is not to diminish how you're feeling at all, but what it is to say that none of us are on a flat line like this. We go in and out of how we're feeling. We have moments where we feel a little brighter. We have moments where we feel much darker. And so that's the thing to remember, and to begin to be aware, to begin to look for the moments that feel a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, to begin to do some of the things that you know in the past you've enjoyed, or you know in the past have worked for you to bring you out of this way of feeling. Maybe to get outside, maybe to change your environment so that you're not sort of stuck in your bedroom or in your house, to be able to think, okay, I'm just going to go for a walk, I'm going to go and sit on a bench somewhere, listen to the birds, and none of these things are necessarily going to be an instant cure and everything's going to be fine and dandy, but it's just that gradual, step by step, tiny steps to help bring you out of this and to the other side. But yeah, I hope that helps a wee bit, Savannah, but I hope that this hour can help you feel a little bit more connected and a little bit more appreciated, maybe. I don't know. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you know, having the energy to actually take this action and be here is really lovely. Excuse me a minute, I'm just going to have a drink. Oh, do you know, water is just lovely, isn't it? It's one of those things, like, it's so boring, and yet when you're thirsty, it's like nectar of the gods. And like cold glass of water, how lovely is that? I don't drink nearly enough water, so I must do. So Had's asked about EMDR. So EMDR is amazing. EMDR stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, and it's an amazing technique. I'm trained in something called AMDR, which is similar. It's a development of EMDR, and I work with people, a lot of my clients actually, because whatever you've been through, there's always a reason the way you feel, the way you feel. So whether it's anxiety, depression, whatever it is, you will have been through some sort of trauma, and I think it's a brilliant technique. I would always say that the difference that makes the difference a lot of the time is finding the right therapist. So you can have two therapists and both of them do EMDR, and you click with one and it makes a massive difference because your nervous systems connect like this and you feel comfortable in their presence. Or you can have someone who's a therapist and you just, no, this is not the person for me for whatever reason. So that's a huge thing. So I hope that answers your question, Hads. Let's have a look. I am coming to you, Lozo, with your question. I haven't forgotten you. And yes, thank you, Vicky, for answering Marina's question, because I sort of vaguely did. But I do work in private practice. I work in the UK. I work in Hertfordshire. But actually, most of my clients are spread all over the world. I work with people online, and the lovely thing about the work that I do, it works brilliantly online. I've worked with people from all over the world, as well as occasionally I do work face to face with a few people. But I hope that helps. Let's have a look. Let's have a look about some of these. Yeah, so I like the fact that some of you are trying to be helpful to Savannah. It's really nice. Oh, Savannah says, I'm waiting on therapy. I only have online friends who are nice. It's really hard, isn't it? I would say maybe go back to your doctor and say, listen, things are really difficult for me. Is there any way, what can I do? Because they do have a duty of care for you. There is private therapy. That is an option if you can afford that. I think that it's worth talking to private therapists, because you never know. Some people do pro bono work. Some people can maybe spread payments out, spread appointments out. I don't know, but I think that I feel for you. There's not an easy answer, is there? I hope that the therapy comes through quickly for you. Let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look at that one. So there's a comment here. Thank you, Vicky, for pinning that. I feel like there's no point in life anymore, or anything that makes... I can't see the rest of the comment, I'm afraid. So I would say to you that, I'm really glad that you've reached out. I'm glad that you're here, because I think the fact that you're here and that you've made that comment, you've had the courage to make that comment, because it does take courage to write comments on a live like this. I think that shows that perhaps there's hope in your life still, that you're looking for help, you're looking for a solution. And I think that is the thing to cling on to. What I would suggest is that you talk to someone in real life, because as much as I would love to be able to help you here and now, it's really difficult to do that, because I don't know your situation. But there are people in your life that know your situation, or that you can talk to, that you can be with to keep you safe. So the first port of call is friends or family. If there are no friends or family that you can trust, then to contact your doctor. If it's difficult to get through to your doctor, or you don't particularly get on with your doctor, then there are charities such as Samaritans, which is 116. Oh, let me see. I've got it written down here. 116128. It's been a while. 116123. So you've got that that you could talk to the Samaritans. They're really helpful and can give you good advice. There's also charities like Papyrus, Mind, Anxiety UK. Lots of these charities have helplines, and they're just really nice, normal people on there who are very knowledgeable and can give you their time, listen to you. That's important, isn't it? And perhaps help you. There's a fantastic website called the Ollie Foundation, and that is based in Hertfordshire, but they have lots of really great resources if you're struggling. So perhaps have a look at them as well. But keep yourself safe, because it's really important, because you just don't know what's around the corner, because it just takes a small tweak sometimes for life to change and for hope to come flooding back in and purpose to come flooding back in. So take care of yourself. I hope you're all right. Let's have a look. Yeah, Savannah says, I've suffered for a while, but I've contacted so many helplines and nothing works. What I would say, and don't take this the wrong way, Savannah, but nothing has worked yet. I think that there are a lot of people out there who are not particularly good, not helpful. They're sort of in that blinkered corporate type of view, but actually there will be people out there who can and want to help you. And I know it's really hard when you're depressed. It's just having the energy to keep going is really tricky sometimes. And I feel for you, but please keep going. Please keep going, and keep trying. Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look. I'm just scrolling through here. So let me go back to Loza's question. Loza asked, what are the qualifications needed to be a therapist? So I did a post about this the other day because I run the Quest Institute's social media. And it really depends on the sort of therapist that you want to be, because there are so many different types. Obviously, if you want to be a psychiatrist, then you need to train and be a doctor, and that is a whole different world. Not many of us are going to be doing that. If you want to be a counsellor, a psychologist, a psychotherapist, then there's a lot of training involved in that, and the qualifications that you're going to need, especially if you're going to be a psychologist or not so much a psychotherapist, but a psychologist. I'm thinking you're going to be needing a degree in psychology, but there's various qualifications in psychology that you can do. And to be a counsellor, you don't necessarily, I'm not sure about a counsellor actually, if I'm totally honest, I'm not sure. You could have a look at the BACP website or the counselling directory in the UK, and they have lots and lots of information about counselling. To do the work that I do, to be a QCH therapist, you don't actually need any qualifications. You just need to be, this sounds terrible, we just need to be the right kind of person. So at the Quest Institute, we're really aware that there are a lot of people out there in life who are not necessarily going to be, academically brilliant, but they have a lot of life experience and they're good people and they want to help people. And those are the people we're looking for. We've had people come through the Quest Institute who have been doctors, who've had masters in psychology, who've got degrees in all sorts of different areas. And we've also had people come through who don't really have any formal academic qualifications, but we interview every single person. And the thing that we offer is that we just incredibly, we try to be really, really supportive of our students, so you end up with the HPD, which is Hypnotherapy and Practice Diploma, which is the sort of main qualification in the UK that is recognised in hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy is not a regulated modality in the UK. So yeah, I mean, I would say if you're interested in being a therapist, you can definitely do it. You don't need to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. If you're going to be a counsellor, then your training is going to be more and more in depth, because you're going to be able to work with people who, have suffered from psychosis, who have all sorts of stuff going on in their lives. But if you want to be a therapist and you want to do the sort of stuff that I do, it really is. It's about whether you're the sort of person that is, kind, community focused, caring, wanting to give back, wanting to make a difference in the world. That's the kind of people that come to Quest. So anyway, I hope that helps a little bit. Loza? Let's have a look. H betas. I had a breakdown yesterday as childless without choice and ruin my new relationship. Hate Mother's Day. Oh, bless you. That's so hard, isn't it? It's awful when you want to have children and yet for whatever reason you can't or you don't. You won't have ruined it. I'm sure you won't have ruined your relationship. You went into a meltdown because you were upset, and whoever you've got a relationship with, I would imagine that you can work it out, that you can chat together, and that person will understand that wasn't really you. That was you in a protective state. That was you in a state of high emotion for a good reason, because it's upsetting. Mother's Day can be very triggering for many people. So please don't worry. Please get in contact with the person. Maybe give yourself some time just to settle, and then have a chat with them. And I hope that things work out for you. Let's have a look. So we're kind of getting to the end. We've got 10 minutes left. Oh, Jamila, that is such a lovely thing to say. I think of you as an earth angel. Thank you for all your help. That's just the nicest thing ever. Thank you. Gosh. Oh, and Pins here says, I was refused EMDR because I was living alone and had no support network. That is just nonsense. I mean, it's not nonsense what you're saying, but I just really feel for you. I would try again. I really would, because there's absolutely no reason. That is not a reason, I don't think, anyway. I would perhaps try again, go to someone else, if you can. Let's have a look. Just scrolling through. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for all your questions. I hope that I've answered, and some of my answers will have helped more than just the people that I asked the questions. Oh, Ashley Rolfe Taxidermy. Thank you for your kind comment. That's really nice. And Loza says, I graduated with law with masters in 2019. Would that mean I'd need to go back and do another degree? No, absolutely not. No, it depends on what you wanted to do. If you wanted to become a psychologist, I'm not the person to ask about that, really, because I'm not a psychologist. I wouldn't know. What I would probably do is maybe get in contact with someone who is a psychologist, or the psychologist, there's a director of psychologists, I think, would be really helpful. But there's no reason. I've got a degree. My degree is in English literature, and I studied to be a therapist, and it's a standalone qualification. You don't need to have. I mean, obviously, you have to have a level of academic ability, but the way that we work is that we do our best to help you through. So obviously, we're not going to answer the questions for you. You have to be able to understand the work, but we're there to help people to get through the academic side of things. So, but no, absolutely not. If you've got a law degree, you certainly don't need to be doing anything else to become a therapist. Even if you were to become a counsellor, which is a longer period of training, then no, you wouldn't need anything else. Oh, Heather, welcome back. Hope your appointment went well. I can't see your name. Let's have a look. Celia Marsh. People don't respect me because I have a lack of self-respect. I'm too kind. Any advice? Well, that's such a good question, isn't it? Because I think sometimes people mistake niceness and kindness with weakness, and it doesn't mean that you're weak. I'm a nice, kind person. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but I try my best. I think that it's really important to be nice and to be kind. But what's that about, the lack of self-respect? I think that perhaps it's important to look at boundaries, to look at, learning to respect yourself, looking at, okay, when do I feel disrespected? What's going on? What are people doing that put me in that sort of subordinate position? And how can I stop that? What can I do? What do I need to draw a line in the sand around? And look at that. And I think also to start looking at self-care, to do stuff for yourself, to look at self-compassion. There's a really interesting person called Kristen Neff, who is a psychologist, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but she does a lot. She's got a website about self-compassion, and the way forward from a sense of shame or guilt is self-compassion. We begin with self-compassion to show our nervous system that we are worthy of love, we are worthy of kindness, and hopefully that can help you a little bit. I hope so. But if someone learning to say no, I know that's tricky, but if someone says something that feels disrespectful to you, what is it about that? What have they said, and what can you say to them to say, no, this is not acceptable to me? And sometimes it can be really helpful to see a therapist around that, to talk to someone and say, can you help me? Because therapists don't just work with people who are struggling with things like anxiety and depression. They also help people who are feeling a bit stuck, that they know, I don't respect myself enough, I don't really know what to do about that. Then a therapist can be really helpful for that sort of thing. So I hope that helps a little bit. Sorry, I'm just going to write that down because I was going to say, if you just nipped in and you've seen 5 minutes of this and you're thinking, I'm supposed to be at work, I'm supposed to be I'm not supposed to be on TikTok, then I always upload these lives to YouTube, and my YouTube channel is Sarah Aris Therapy on YouTube. The link to it is on my profile page. There's a link tree to all sorts of free resources, so do have a look at that if you fancy. Let's have a look. Oops, a daisy. Let's have a look. So we're kind of drawing everything to a close here, and I'm aware that there's lots of comments and lots of people saying things again. Harley, felt nice to see you again, Sarah. I have to go to work. Hope you have a perfect day. Thank you. Same to you. Hope you have a lovely day. So, and Elle says, can social anxiety be subconscious, or does it always mean low self-esteem? No, it doesn't necessarily always mean low self-esteem. I think that any anxiety is a protective response, and any protective response is going to be an unconscious response. We don't choose to be anxious. We don't choose to be depressed. It's something that is triggered in an instant. Our brain decides we are in danger, there is threat, based on an experience that we've had in the past. And so that's the thing. So it is about an unconscious response. And the work that I do, the work that I recommend, the self-care, all of the physical bits and bobs to help you in the moment, actually that is all underpinned by working with someone to find out, where has this come from? So we can all do stuff to help ourselves to feel less anxious, to feel more connected and happier in our lives by creating an environment of safety, doing breath techniques, doing meditation, doing the visualizations that I talk about, and the physical techniques. So we can all do that, and that can make a really big difference to us. And at the same time, it may well be that it's worth going to see some sort of therapist, a therapist of your choice. Obviously, I'm not saying come to me or come to anyone who's a QCH therapist necessarily. You've got to find the right sort of therapy for you. And then that's the thing that can reframe that first event, so you're not triggered anymore, if that makes sense. I hope that helps a little bit. Irene O'Donoghue, you are very lovely. Thank you very much for your kind comment. So Irene says, you're so kind, I would love to be more like you. Well, I imagine that you are just lovely the way that you are. We're all just ourselves, aren't we? And, I'm certainly not perfect, but, keep being you, Irene. I think that the fact that you've sent that lovely comment has, touched me. And so it shows that you're a lovely person. So keep doing what you're doing. Let's have a look. Yeah, thank you, Edward. This is a cozy bit of my room. Let's have a look. So I'm kind of going to bring this to a close because it's nearly 11 o'clock. We've been here for an hour. Celia Marsh says that's so true. I'm not weak. I've been through so much. Thank you so much. Absolutely. And I think you're so right, Celia, that everyone on this call, everyone on this live, we are all survivors. We have all been through so much in our lives, and it's all relative to who we are. We've all been through things that have been difficult, and we will all be triggered at times to feel certain emotions, to feel certain feelings. But the thing to remember is that we absolutely have worth. We are the sum total of all the things that have ever happened to us, and we have a choice. Every moment that we're in, we can choose whether we're kind, whether we're mean, whether we stretch ourselves and move into that sort of amber zone of discomfort, whether we grow, or whether we just protect ourselves and heal. You know, we all have a choice all the time. And for me, doing the training that I've done with the Quest Institute has really clarified for me how I feel and how I live my life. So let's see. So the Abby Star says, do you know much about BPD? I have just been diagnosed and I'm trying to understand myself. So the Abby Star, I'm afraid I don't. This is not an area in which I'm trained to work in. So I'm really sorry, but I can't help you there. What I would do, I would say, go back to your doctor or your psychiatrist and ask them, say to them, please, can you tell me more? And I would even Google it and look for them. I imagine that there will be a charity, a support group, something like that, that will give you more information. But if you've been diagnosed with BPD, then I think that you definitely should have follow-up on that, and that they can help you. Okay. So I am going to draw this to a close. I'm not going to disappear off immediately because I like to stay and just say goodbye to people individually. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you ever so much to Vicky Hodgson, my lovely moderator, for being here for the whole live. Thank you to Lynn, who was here for the first half hour. Thank you to Jasmine, who popped in, did a sneaky from work, which was really lovely of you. And thank you to all of you who regularly come along to these lives. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Thank you to all of you who are new, and I really appreciate it. If you have sent any likes, if you've followed, if you've shared this, then hopefully this will get to be something that has helped other people as well as those of you who've been here. So I will be uploading it to my YouTube, hopefully later on today. I was really aware that the last one I did was I took forever to upload it because I was on holiday and I couldn't. But I will try, I will upload this later on today to my YouTube. And just thank you so much for being here. The next one, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and make the next one. So the next one will be this coming Friday. I haven't decided the time yet, but I'll do a little video about when it's going to be. And keep an eye on my profile page because it's always on there that it comes up as an event. So I'm going to do that. And what I want to do is I'm going to start doing a monthly feature of interviewing someone who is a therapist. So I've got 2 people lined up. So I've got Hazel Gale, who is the co-creator of Betwixt, The Story of You. She's also a therapist. She's a QCH therapist. She's an international motivational speaker. She is an ex-world champion kickboxer. She's just like awesome. So I'm going to be organising a time to speak with her. And I'm also going to be speaking with Julie Holland, who again is another QCH therapist, and she's amazing. She specialises in working with people who have eating disorders, but she also works with people who are feeling low, who are anxious, who have low self-esteem, all of that kind of thing. So I'm going to be asking her along as well to have a bit of a chin wag with me. And also, both of them, I'm sure, will be really happy to answer any questions that any of you might have. So I'm going to say cheerio for now. I'll send more information about all those things as soon as I can, as soon as I know the details and it's confirmed. But thank you for being here, and I'll stay a bit longer and say goodbye to people. But take care of yourselves. If life is hard right now, the best thing you can do is to talk to other people, be with other people, and be as kind to yourself as you possibly can be, because this too shall pass. I love that saying. It's one of my favourites. All right. Take care, everyone. I'm just gonna stay here and look at some of the comments because I love seeing your comments. All right. Oh, good, Ashley. Thank you. I'm glad about that. Alexandra, it's so lovely to see you. Yeah, I hope you can come along next time. Thank you, Abby. You're very kind. You take care. Take care, Savannah. I hope you're all right. Imogen, thank you. Jack, thank you. Nice to see you. Oh, dear, I didn't mean to do that. 202. Oh, what's that say? Andrew. 2021, Andrew. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, good, Elle. I'm really glad. I hope you have a good day. I don't, Ashley, you're asking for a recommendation of an ERP therapist. I don't really know about that. I'll have a think for you. An ERP therapist. For Ashley. Okay. Let me think about that. And maybe I'll mention it on my next live, if that's all right. Heather, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day too. Enjoy. Take care, everyone. Jodie, cheerio. Right, lovely. Well, thank you all so much, and I will see you soon, I hope. Hopefully see you on Friday. Ta-ra.